GLL is back with the Nations Royale, the biggest war in history, even if you might say different. Welcome back, Nations Royale 32 vs 32 with Toby and me, Renee G-Runner, with another 2 exciting matches.
It's going to be good fun. And I'm especially looking forward to the first one, because the second one we already know, of course, who's going to win.
What's that? What kind of reveal is that?
Denmark is playing. No, they saw that in the schedule. Denmark is playing. And
okay. Obviously, Denmark is not winning. But here's the schedule for everyone out there, so you actually know what we're talking about. We're starting off with Turkey versus, if you're not familiar with that flag, the Adriatic nations. That includes Bosnia, Croatia, Slovenia, Yugoslavia. Hopefully, I didn't forget one. And then
Albania.
the second one. Yeah, is
Albania,
it?
yeah.
All right, and the second matchup, another best of 3, is Denmark versus Finland.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. But let's keep our focus for now, at least on the match at hand. I think one of the biggest takeaways for me, of course, I haven't had the pleasure of casting as many of these games as you do. I have watched a lot of them, though, and one of the things to me that I think Turkey does a bit different, maybe, than everyone else, and we got to see some of it yesterday, too, is the way that they like to rotate. I mean, they'll go full team together for quite a while, and then like split out to just try and take full control.
I just think they're super quick.
Yeah,
which is great, because we need to see some different playstyles. That playstyle obviously comes from players. So here we have the list. Yeah, it's not just magically appearing. We have the list of the players that will play in our first best of 3. By the way, we're in the quarterfinals, means whoever wins here find themselves in the final, the offline final, obviously not for all 32. We fly in the generals of the winning team, all of that next week, 30 and 31st. So this one really counts. I mean, before that, it was already elimination.
Yeah.
So there's no second chance. But this one actually means you get a deal, you fly over, and you actually get to see Stockholm and get to scream in a studio instead of just at home.
It's gonna be good fun. Not just any studio, but a very new one at that. So it's going to be good fun, and it's going to be amazing. But of course, nothing is determined before we have finished these potentially 3 matches, because they could just be 2.
I'm pretty sure it's determined for the chat already, because when I remember correctly yesterday, Turkish fans,
they're out there.
They gave all their energy
for
their Nations Royale team, and I'm pretty sure they showed up with even more people today, because hey, it's their chance to get into the final round, right? In the top 4.
I mean, think about it this way. When you have a squad of 4, which is normally the format we go with in competitive PUBG, they have X amount of fans, right? Here there's a squad of 32. You need that many more people to give the energy, right? Take my energy, we need even more of those.
Obviously, they all have friends.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
So that makes it even bigger. That's what I really like. And obviously, we got a clear winner in this match. There's no consistency wins.
Oh, no, it's the winner.
Yeah,
the
it's
winner
either
wins.
Turkey or the Adriatic nations tonight in every single map. Talking about maps, they're obviously different depending on how they vote, and they're not really that different to yesterday, though. We're playing Erangel, and then Sanok.
Yeah, we have it's kind of been Erangel twice for the most part, for pretty much the entirety, actually. And then for those of you guys wondering, for those of you guys who've been wondering why not Miramar, it's not working, so no Miramar. Leave it at that. But
Vikendi would have been a choice.
That's the thing I was going to say, right? Because they've kind of been the whole decider, the third potential map, has been like 50-50, I feel like, between whether they go for Vikendi or Sanok.
I like that we go back to Sanok, because I think we saw the more entertaining fights on Sanok than we had on Vikendi.
Earlier fights, at least, and more probably also more a little more chaotic to a certain extent.
Flank due to the elevation changes and the small hills and all of that. I really like that map for 32 versus 32. Gets us into the action a bit earlier. Obviously, if you're new to this, there's slightly different build-up than there is a normal competitive PUBG, because obviously no one is hunting for smaller squads, since there are only 2 teams. They're not running around and eliminating one squad, then eliminating another one.
It's like once the war starts, the war starts.
Yeah, definitely.
You can think about it this way. Have you ever played that one, what's it called? Shogun Total War? Where you have like all your different, like it's a full-scale medieval war, right? And like half of the war you spend trying to position yourself. Like you see they start moving this way. Oh, then we have to move this way. And then all of a sudden, you're so close to each other, it's like, okay, now we have to do something. And then like, and the game is over.
There are moments where it's super important that you have many people on one position. Then there are moments where splits and crossfire is the way to go. And then there are moments where only a cheeky flank of even only 5 to 8 people can save your match.
I'm actually going to come with the quarterfinals tips with Toby. and say, I think the smartest thing you can do in a wrangle, like one thing every team should embrace, is I'm gonna put my number at 4. You can disagree with me. At least have 4 guys in any given circle on military. just because you need to be able to take control of one of those bridges. We've seen it twice yesterday. How much of a just death sentence it is if you do not have any guys on military and the circle goes there.
Yeah, we had 2 circles actually ending at military. In case you didn't. So obviously you can check out the VODs on our channel here at GLL from yesterday. And we also saw a beautiful barricade, by the way.
They were very impressive.
On the bridge, and the team that was screaming YOLO and just went for it, unfortunately didn't already pay off for that.
And that's the thing, right? There's not a lot you can do about it. We talk about it and it's all fun and stuff. I mean, but for them, it's like, what are we supposed to do here, right? They just run into death, and unfortunately, that's the way it goes. So, and it's not the biggest loss. Should they get cornered down there? It's 4 players, and we've seen comebacks, even being down 4 players, right? Not the biggest deal at all. So send some guys military, because odds are that the circle could go
Turkey
there.
Obviously won yesterday, but all of the matches so far, and we're here since Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's our last day for this week. We had the last map. We always went to map 3, and even yesterday in our best of 5 of the Nations Royale over in the Americas, went to the 5th map, but obviously we couldn't do that at that point due to the patch that was dropping, in case you didn't notice. So that was another thing yesterday, but so far our series still says we always go into the last map, which means this is really close.
England 1-2-0 over France.
England did what?
1-2-0 against France.
But was it this week?
It was yesterday. I'm pretty sure.
That was not yesterday. France
the
against
military
the UK?
Game. Yeah.
2-0?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. They had the military game and then the Far Eastern game.
the whole day that we had.
I thought of it right now. I'm pretty sure it was a 2-0 game. Yeah?
Was it?
Yeah, because they had the military game and then the Far Eastern one too. That they won. That France looked like they were going to win, but then they didn't. Yep, because that was the one where they pushed Mill to power. That was
I'm so sorry for the rub, but you know, we talked about that the whole day, and we always said every single match went to the 3rd map.
Yeah, but it's not true.
If you're right,
we
then
lied. We've been lying to you guys all day long.
We were lying to ourselves.
And ourselves too. Now you can see in the bottom of your screen, Novo is indeed in your minimap, which means that military is accessible. But seems to me like Turkey did not listen to tips with Toby, because at least for now, they have yet to send down their first player. So, yep, there you go. 2 guys out, a few more, but nobody seeming to go towards Military Island.
I heard from the team chat that they actually said, like, I think Turkey was saying that they go in a specific direction, and the Adriatic nation said, that's easy, we hot drop you guys. It's not going to happen.
There's
I think
some
there
beef
were
there,
big words.
Oh, that's what it is.
But I don't see any of that.
They can talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk. That's guys. That's not what you want to do. I mean, you have to. You got to commit to your call outs. You cannot just go full ballsy and come up with all this talking and then not live up to it. That's not good.
Obviously, that's not good.
No, I mean, I can respect that. Good, we're gonna do this, and then they just do it. Like no fears at all.
I would have loved to see that,
but it's clearly not really. The
I
case.
would have loved to see them hot dropping them. Matty is either a bit late or AFK.
Okay.
Or hot
As
dropping.
we say that though,
always hot drop.
Huh? But Chinky could be a potential hot drop, and there's nobody in the military
That would be one of the earliest fights. Obviously not. Like, we know that the fastest kill so far was 2 minutes.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that was what we had in previous.
And that is fast, because you can see now these guys are still in the sky, and we already won 145. So very, very quick kill. This could potentially tie the record. Oh, he's turning around. Aww.
I thought he will just...
Match AFK jumped, and he turned around. You know what?
Wait, I think he also disappeared.
Yeah, but he's probably coming back. He can come back. Good sport. Good sport, buddy. He must have seen that he was there, and he was like, you know what? Nope. I'm not going to go for the kill. Even if he didn't, I'm going to give him credit anyway. Very nice of you, buddy, not to go for that kill.
Pachinki. All right. That could be a super early compound fight, which is something we didn't saw so far.
Yeah.
Especially in such a big city. Like, we saw it in a very small compound just because they ran into each other basically by surprise.
Yeah.
But this one here, they definitely know that they're enemies in the houses next to them.
Yeah.
So that might be different here.
We could, we could potentially see some early engagements. Here we saw both these teams fight yesterday, not against each other, of course, but against the teams they would have eliminated. Turkey, they took out the. I'm trying to think back. One day, come on, Toby, you can do this.
Turkey. Turkey eliminated...
Totally blind out now. I mean, Adriatic Nation, they took out the Czech Republic. That I can remember. And Turkey, they took out...
Yeah, now we maneuvered ourselves
Hungary!
in the corner.
Hungary! Thank you, Toby.
There we
Thank
go.
You. The brain had to wake up. There you go. Now we are all woken up, and we're good to cast these games.
That's great, Toby.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Only 3 minutes 17 into the game. We're finally ready.
Yes, let's go.
Just like Mockingjay FPS is, because he actually got a lot of commands here to loot from. Let's hope that he actually gets what he's looking for. So Turkey is giving a quick visit here to Georgia Pole.
And that's the thing, right? Because we talked about how you want to split out and you want to take control. And you can see that both teams actually have done that. Some have done it inside the circle, taking a lot of control. Some have done it outside. And for all these teams that are going to be trying to make it in, because you can also see that the Adriatic team, they've kind of made their way down towards the southeastern side of Pochinki, saying, you know what? Let's not take this fight right now and let's just wait it out because, they are pretty much sitting on 90% of the circle right now.
Yeah, but we also know early on these 90% can basically not make any difference later.
Yeah,
It depends on where the circle is shifting and how they position themselves right up, by the way. Red zones are turned on, obviously, and they're pretty big, and they're deadly. Yesterday, we saw some people realizing that a bit late, that they're deadly.
We haven't really had the super mega death red zone yet. I'm still waiting for it, where we see vehicle explosions and everyone dying, but I'm sure we'll get a few of those in the mix. And look at all the amazing loot here. You got UMPs, you got Tommy guns, and you got a Kar 98.
Wait, I love UMPs.
Yeah, exactly.
UMP silencer fully equipped.
Some might argue it's the best weapon in the game. Some might argue that it's not. That's how it does.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, very, very, very bold.
All right, seems like Pochinki will be in Turkish hands. Sparky and his friends, they seem to leave. Maybe they found the loot that they were looking for, and now they're just heading out to their teammates. Because they could create a great defensive line already, since they have that half circle where Turkey basically needs to push in.
Main issue for them is that they're running out. And I think the Turkish team has realized this. So I was going to say, they're just going to be chasing them down, start shooting at them. And one has actually already got knocked. Spark, not a whole lot he can do other than hope to get rest. But I mean, the more time they spend there getting the rests on up, which they aren't doing right now, the trickier position they will fit themselves in. Rita! Nice connected shots right there. She gets herself a second knock. And that was the one trying to get the rest, so that should pretty much be 2 guaranteed kills off of that.
They now get the third one as well. This is probably the most successful small skirmish in an early game, all of Nations Royale. Because 2 knocks, and they might even die, because normally we see them getting knocked, but no one dies, because there are just so many that can pick you up. But this might turn into the first 2 kills for the Turkish side.
See the red zone taking the northern side of Pochinki, and it actually is kind of interesting because that red zone could be what prevents anyone from coming in to help. Because all the vehicles they had were on the northern side, right? So they could have tried to either go down the field or go around the side and in. But that red zone is saying, nope, you ain't coming in from the north, that's for sure.
And it seems like a Turkish squad will make sure that they flush them here. Chili and Sparky. Yeah, there's not much they can do. Smash Base coming in now. Gets Chili. Yep. And Sparky dies by Lay. That's it, a bit of loot they get, kind of good, and the first 2 kills, which gives them, I guess, a good moral boost, even if it doesn't make a huge difference. And Picker Peaks might be the next one from the Adriatic Nation. Right now, they seem to be, like, not warmed up. We are warmed up, obviously, but they might not be.
No, I mean, Sprucey, the captain, the man in charge, the overlord of the Adriatic army, trying to get up here, gather his troops. He did a good job at that yesterday. They had some really, really smart rotations, some smart splits to it as well. And hopefully, there was only at one point where they did something where we were like, what happened here? That was the one where they pushed down to Ferry Pier and lost the game because of it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that one where it was like, why would they cross down to the water? That didn't really do anything good. But other than that, it's been bulletproof throughout the entire day yesterday. And hopefully for the sake of them, they will live to see similar performances in the game today. But of course, they do have to go up against the team in Turkey. And you talked about how the fan base, at least, is very much Turkey-sided.
I think so in the chat. I mean, obviously, I could also have the wrong impression by just looking into chat sometimes. I see some supporters for the Adriatic Nation, definitely. Adriatic Nations, obviously. But mainly, I see Turkish fans.
And it's the guy up there by the yellow house. You see him on your dot right there. Mythbrain himself, the man in charge. getting his army on forward with his majestic general-ish skilled three-seater, because that's the vehicle he's riding. And yep, he's gonna now join forces with the rest of the Turkish people inside of Pochinki, and seems to me like they'll probably up to stay around.
I think they went Pochinki because they had the first knocks there.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I think it would have been smarter to rotate around north.
Yeah, they're probably just putting up like a headquarter in the middle where the commands can come out from, and then they're sending out the scouts, you know?
Code Marco, definitely someone that has support of Twitch chat. I can tell you that from just quickly glancing it in. Definitely. But like I said, I think they go there because they knocked people and they feel confident in that region right now because they ran away, which means they probably don't have big support there. So they move in and take that region.
Also, you can see how they're all setting themselves up on the Pochinki Hills right here, trying to get the high ground position, scout further forward, because they are still on the far western edge of the circle, right? So sit up there, see if you can look further inward. But as you can see, all the other high ground positions down southeast of them, and you have all the people up in the Potato Hills, so you're east of Pochinki as well. They're all kind of countering their potential high ground position. Ooh, and the circle goes further east. A lot further east, actually. How do you rotate as Turkey here?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. That circle shift, that was really
could
harsh
go military. Good call, good call, observers. Could go military. A bit of a ballsy play, because if the other team figures it out, it's very easy to counter a push coming out from the military. But I would assume to see them go around the northern side. Maybe do a split. But, I mean, they have been around here for a while. And they know at least there's some people down south. So would assume to see majority of the Turkish players go around the northern side. But, of course, we do not know what happens inside the head of Mithrin and all the 31 remaining Turkish players. Could be that they have something completely different in mind.
That's true. I mean, the northern rotation to me looks a bit more likely. Obviously, you put yourself at a high risk going over military, then crossing the bridge. The usual struggle that you might face there. Since we're seeing that there's no one at the bridge, obviously, since we're observers, right? We see all of that. They don't know.
Yeah.
So Adriatic Nation could actually set up a trap there.
Ooh.
So going around north gives them a bit more margin for errors, basically. If something goes wrong, they might still pull it off. But if something goes wrong on the bridges, probably not going to happen.
I think we have found ourselves a pit of vehicles that will not be rescued. Shaxi is doing a very, very valid effort in trying to get his three-seater out of this hole. And success! Yep. But they did have to leave 2 cars in there. And that, of course, I mean, it might not be the biggest difference in the end. But it's still 8 seats that there. Well, I mean, we have people running around right now, right? That could be the difference maker for these guys. You can see already, down in Pochinki, still guys saying, wait, did you park our cars in a dip? And yeah, unfortunately, they did.
So, that is, I just wanted to talk about the cars, but Code Marco going for that. I was just waiting for the Superman seat grab or
that could have been a backflip. Yeah, that could have been a backflip.
But it looked really impressive how he jumped down.
Style points.
How he jumped down that hill. Obviously, it doesn't really help. You don't gain any armor for it or ammo. It would be fun though. I have to say that. Yeah.
Extra points.
We get something back from the game for it, but no. But yeah, like I said, this northern rotation leaves them with a bit more room for arrows.
Welcome back,
arrows.
Welcome back, Magic. Finally
oh yeah, he's not AFK anymore.
Oh, don't die to the red zone now. That would be the most unfortunate. I'm in, guys. I'm in there. Oh, and then
oh my God.
Has traveled the entire map.
Are you coming back? Yeah, guys. No worries.
Just see the smoke in the distance. That must have been him.
All these kilometers of driving for just dying in the red zone.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate, but fortunately, not the case. What we do see, though, is once again the Adriatic team setting themselves up in a potential high ground situation or position, alongside having some people over in the shelter. So clearly expecting this push come in from the north, because, well, I mean, they've set themselves up shop up here.
Another crate for the Adriatic Nation, and that looks good. Military vest, obviously. There was a Grosha in it as well.
MK14, AWM.
Was it MK4? I didn't saw the 14.
MK14 was that.
All right.
Just a lot of things in these crates for the
We should. I mean, we're in Stockholm, right? Why are these drops not powered by IKEA or something like that?
They have yellow smoke. That's
there we go.
And they're blue.
And they're blue, yeah.
So easily powered by IKEA, by the way.
Easy.
Unfortunate thing is they have to sample the weapons. Like, they have to put them together when they get them out of the crate. They have like a little manual, and it takes 15 minutes.
Just imagine there's one powerful sniper, but it's broken up in like 6 pieces, and they're across the map. But you
and
can
only one
find
guy
them and
has
then build them.
only one guy has like the put together manual. It's like, no,
it's a team effort.
and it's in a language you can't understand.
Yeah, both teams have one guy that can assemble it.
Yeah,
and then they have to search for it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But
nonetheless, goes too far.
nonetheless, we are seeing the Turkish move in from the north, and we've talked about this area before, how open it is, because you do not want to get caught out in here. Now they are trying to have them rotate through this red zone. That's going to be dangerous too.
It keeps them away.
They pretty much have to get all the way down to prison in order to get proper cover. And it seems like at least for now they're able to. But I mean, the vehicles must be hurt because look at how close they are.
Crowman sits on that hill. You probably spot a Xong and Slippery Zerg already. Oh, there is a flanking troop.
I don't know if that's a flank on purpose or them saying, no.
I mean, it looked like a great flank if they would just play it out now, but it was probably not planned.
But look at how easily the Adriatic team, well, technically, can pin down the Turkish now, because if they start shooting them down now as they do, and they don't allow them to get up the hill on the other side either, if you just take full control of the top of prison, it's going to be so hard for them to get further
You're totally
south.
right with that. I'm just afraid of that the Adriatic nations are not set up for that yet.
Yeah, exactly. They aren't too far west.
They're still to scatter them along the lines there, which means they need ages to pick someone up, which on the Turkish side is done in seconds, basically. And they have no one for cover fire or to trade immediately.
Because you can see the Turkish players are making their way over these holy headshots, Sanson. That's gonna hurt.
Wait, who was that? That was Shaxi.
That was Shaxi.
Oh,
great.
From there.
From
wow.
Fenerbahce, representing his team and nation, and hops the head off of Fabs.
Yeah, just like a Lego figurine, hat was popping.
Yeah, no more helmet for you.
Ripped off. That was quick. Prison now.
I like the flank on the west side, though. The push down on the west side, they can get the angle so that when they're sitting up, like down by the northern side of prison, they're trying to be hidden from potential players up the hill. From the side position, they can actually spot them while they're in cover. So it could be the position needed.
Spreezy and his task force on the site, they need to get involved in this because they need to buy time for their team. They need to get the setup around prison done first. On the other hand, as the longer Turkey now stands there and isn't able to translate that into kills, the harder it will be for them in the end, because that's not a good spot to be trapped in.
Yeah, and I'm wondering where Mithrain is in all of this. He's probably in the middle somewhere, right? Because we've seen so many different... He's down there. He's with the troops. Makes sense. We've seen so many different ways these captains like to play. We saw Damien yesterday. Full speed forward, I will be the Aragon of our army, and just send it first guy in and last guy out. Well, here's Breezy, and we saw with Waggy Jackie from Denmark as well yesterday, taking a more, not laid back, but more sort of passive approach, and I guess you can say valuing being able to control the troops more than face first run in. It was Breezy, we saw him land some crazy headshots yesterday. I would expect to see the same today.
Yeah, he definitely showed a great performance.
Yeah.
Great performance is what the Adriatic nations need right now, because they need to pull this closer. They need to basically try to bond now, create that half circle, and put some pressure onto the Turkish team. But the Turkish team, they start already that split, their own half circle. And when they are quicker than the Adriatic nation, because they're so far away on the west side, then Turkey could have the upper hand on this.
And we complimented Turkey yesterday for not only making quick decisions, but being able to react on them sort of in unity really, really quickly, right? Now they have made their way up. They have gotten themselves some ground. BSD gets down matches, so despite the fact that he got late to the circle, will go down early on, at least gets knocked. But look at how much room actually Turkey got off of this, because the Adriatic players didn't push down and get that control earlier. Because had they been down there now, they would have been sitting on, what, 70% of the circle?
Matt here showing up to work late, but leaving early. It's just what happened. But it looks like, in terms of range fights, the Turkish team does a very good job right now. I mean, obviously they got the 2 kills from early on, which puts them up by 1 since they started with 1 down. So none of the Turkish players got killed so far. But it also means that in this fight, no one else died besides the 2 players that we saw dying early on.
Nobody gone down just yet. But of course, we do know that the fewer people die early, the crazier the chaos will be later. Because inevitably, we will have to, well, kill off at least 31 players. And
there's no timeout.
There's no
one
timeout.
Side has to die.
No
completely.
Timeouts. No. Can we please just have a talk about this one? Nope, ain't gonna happen. We talked about it before. Once that sort of fuse is lit and it goes kaboom, then it's not gonna stop exploding before the game is over.
That's true. There are no diplomatics. involved in this one. Not even
Peace
the
treaties.
not even the Jedi Masters could try to mediate here. It has to go down to actually people falling.
Yeah.
And it seems to be around prison, at least for now. Turkey has, even with that disadvantage they had early, now with that smaller split, yep, that looks good. That looks way better now than what they had before. The only problem is the slightly western team, the part west of prison. They might find themselves trapped if the Adriatic nations react to that quick enough.
The issue for the Adriatic nation is that they can't split out wide enough and still have cover. I mean, you don't want to pin your three guys down behind one tree, right? That's not going to give you anything. We talked about it yesterday, too. A whole lot how you can put 4 guys in the shack, but if only one guy can peek, then what's the point of it, right? You want to be in a position where you can split out, you can take control, you can have everyone shooting at any given time, if that's what the call is to do. And, well, I mean, at least for the Adriatic team on the west side, they can't really do that from where they are because it's so open. You see how they're sitting themselves down there. They're so split apart, and it's really hard for them to get rests up. 2 X-Met gone down, and it's going to be pretty much impossible for them to get all the way down there and rest him.
1 knock once again for the Turkish team. Not really a kill yet,
No,
though.
just
But
taking it easy.
they building.
They're setting themselves up for a beta late game. We're in the open now. There are no compounds to loot here. If you pop a vest, odds are that that guy won't have a vest for the rest of the game. New circle goes west, though, once again. Away from Turkey we go. And they have to figure now, do we want to sort of continue this push that we've done south around the eastern side of prison? Or do we want to go back where we came from and see if we can run up on the western side of prison? Because that's going to be pretty much the only 2 options here. But you would assume they should commit everyone to one side, right? Or would you want to split them on each side?
I mean, that depends on what they see on the other side, right? Like, currently, there's not... If you look at the map right now, there are way more Turkish players in a shooting position than they are Adriatic nations players in a shooting position. So, a split could work, since they can just create that crossfire and get at least one part. Like, they could aim for this western group of forces there. Seems like that might be the first knock, finally, for the Adriatic nation here. On to Kritikern. Obviously, he had to be...
We've had so many different names for him. I love
it. It had to be him.
Yeah.
Being the first one.
That's his name now, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. If he's ever told you anything else, he lied.
Is that the case?
Yeah, that is the case.
All right. Terry, not really finishing the job here. It's just interesting to see that both teams now concentrate on the actual movement before really getting involved. Swedish taking some shots, but not connecting any of them.
They're allowing them to move a bit forward, and, well, at least for now, not a whole lot is coming off at Rita. Got herself a knock and a kill earlier onto one of the 2 players from Pochinki. But now she's the one to be knocked, and I believe a finish off should come in a short while as well. The circle is closing in, and these guys from Turkey have to figure out what the hell are we doing off of here, because if they keep sitting in the corner, they're only giving Adriatic Nation a bigger chance to really get more circles their way.
So Geeker gets another kill for the Turkish side. We're 21 minutes in, and so far not a huge push, and which is kind of interesting, but because both of these teams yesterday tend to push onto it. They're like, all right, if we can't figure this out with rotation, we'll just go straight forward right onto them.
But we never really saw them do that when they didn't have to. I mean, they're a team that's not shy of committing to a push if they need to. But right now, I mean, technically, they can play it safe from where they are. I hope they get a knock or 2 more. And then when the next circle forces them away, that's when they're going to start running. Because as you can see, there's a big open divide in the middle here. And nobody really wants to be the team to cross into that.
And also, no one wants to be in prison. We know that.
Yep. Makes sense.
It's like it's down low, easy to be shot at.
Prison guards want to be in prison.
Now we're going the wrong way. Well, it's not prison break. It's not prison break.
Okay, so do the Turkish players run back downhill, or do they run up?
No, I want to see them committing to a push.
Yeah,
with some cover fire by Corleone and the rest of the team.
Yeah,
and that will be amazing. Come on, do it, Garbage Man.
They can go uphill, and the Eastern team can start pushing across, because you see them, they're allowing for all the Adriatic players to come down, and it's only going to make it harder for them. Right now, they have a chance to make the push uphill, because, well, I mean, they aren't everyone there, but in just a short moment's time, believe me, what was 10 before, it's going to be 15 or 20 players in that same area.
It gets kind of crowded there.
Yeah.
It's like shopping one day before Christmas.
Yep. That's a good analogy. Knocks are slowly starting to come in. And again, guys, we do know that these things are taking a while, but we're just setting up. It's like the countdown for New Year's. You hate the countdown, but once the fireworks start, that's when all the kids' eyes light up and everyone starts cheering.
Yeah, and something will be lit on fire for sure. 27 on the side of Adriatic Nations, so a slight advantage now for Turkey. And Giga finds Kroman with that grenade. That could be his second kill if he actually finishes him off.
That could also be the ignition to start this fight, because this has allowed for Giga to push all the way around. He's actually spotting more people out now.
He got the kill from Kroman.
He
down-risked the... That's a one-man army here, and his team are already, like, his squad of 8.
They're moving with him now.
Yeah, and this is squad of 8. They already got 5
We
kills.
saw it from the Hungarian team yesterday as well. I think it was Breacher who pushed her out the side, and when first there was a little bit of a hole in the wall, everyone started just leaking in, and now that's exactly what's happening.
All besides 1 kill were on that group of 8, where Giga is in.
Yeah.
Smash Bay is, by the way, also in his group. So if he kills that, that still makes it all but 1.
Very impressive push coming in from the eastern side, and has caught the Adriatic team off guard. You can see all of a sudden what was a full Adriatic control in the circle is now them pinned down in the bottom part of it, on the southern part of it, up the hill there. And, well, I mean, the blue is going to be on them in just a short moment.
I told you, that's exactly what they should do. Flank there, they have the cover fire from down low. Garbage Man and his whole group, they ripping through this now. As long as they can keep it going and keep it moving and create that chaos, they will have the upper hand, even if they now lose Onra and Lipson. Oh, there are actually a lot of players down, but that had to happen at one point since they're pushing up that small hill.
Breezy, the captain, is trying to do everything he can to keep his team in the mix. Commanding the troops, runs up, holds them off. Even more shots fired. Shaxi down to low HP as well. Only has 1 kill so far, but a lot of knocks coming in his way, and he even has time to get the rest on up towards his teammates. What a commander.
Garbage Man is out. Smash Bay also down.
Ooh, that's a quad nade right there.
Yeah.
Even more being thrown. That's the thing, when you can pin them down this late in the game, you just gotta start throwing that utility in like a crazy person.
That was devastating.
The casualties of war is what we see on our screens right now. This is Armageddon. This is chaos without compare on the hills of Prison, and it seems like it's completely and utterly going Team Turkey's way. Look at the flank coming in from the west now as well. They have full control of this one.
Team Turkey definitely not taking any prisoners, even with the prison just around the corner. Down to 10 now. Yeah, they're pushing them off the circle. The Adriatic Nation is nations are not really in the circle anymore.
They never made room for themselves when they had a chance to. They had so much circle control, and all of a sudden they allow for that one Turkish player to push underneath, and that set up the entire fight. Giga coming over the top, trying to take down the last remaining players. 7 on foot. Krelian trying to make the drive on through, but he's running over everybody, seems like. Just sends through the vehicle, jumps off. Fortunately, no more teammates to be taken down.
Oh, Kakazi's probably the last one sitting down there trying to hide, but he will get taken out. And Turkey takes victory on map number 1 once again with an impressive fast reaction to a changing circle and the right rotation and movement.
And again, Giga, 4 kills. You see him on the list right there.
10
he set
on
it
his
up.
team. Yeah.
He set it up. I mean, not all by himself. Of course, it's a team effort, but he sure did make it easier. He gave his team a chance to come in there from the western side or eastern side.
We saw that yesterday. They won a match where they had a disadvantage because they reacted to a new circle with a brave shift. It was same here. They went brave and over the north to Prison. Then they were like, you know what? We split because we need that crossfire. And even if all of these guys die when they come in for a surprise, they create that chaos that we need to take out enough Adriatic players. And that worked flawlessly.
Now, whether it's Mithrain or it's some of the sub-commanders sort of calling out the individual squad calls, we do not know, but they sure seem to be quick to their actions. Because one thing is that you come up with an idea, oh, we should do this now, but being able to sort of give that info across to 31 other players and have them react to that and start executing it, that can take so long time. But for Turkey, you said it yourself, their speed, their ability to just do things pretty much on the impulse, very impressive.
Smart decision-making and great communication got Turkey this win here on Erangel. And we actually go back to that map for the second match, so they could finish the Adriatic Nations right here on Erangel. That'd
be quick.
That would be quick. Yeah, could be a 2-0, but we're not there yet. Turkey is up by 1 against the Adriatic Nations. We're back with Erangel on map 2 right after the break. back with unbeatable action here in GLL's Nations Royale for the last day of this week with a match Turkey versus the Adriatic nations, and later on Denmark versus Finland with Toby and me, Gira, bringing you all the action. 1-0 for Turkey. That's where we are right now.
It's been a fun fight to watch.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, everything, honestly, to me, I was like, how can they go up north? Okay, they made that work. How can they go back down south around Prison? Okay, well, that kind of worked out too. Oh no, now they have to push all the way around, and then just all of a sudden, wow, why the hell did they come from? I mean, they made it work.
We talked about that smart decision making.
Yeah.
I will make a smart decision as well. I think it's time for the viewers to actually see the bracket. Let's have a quick look there so you understand what's going on here in the Nations Royale in Europe. So, Hungary-Turkey, that's the match we saw yesterday, as well as Czech Republic versus Adriatic nations. We know Turkey won there because they're facing the Adriatic nations.
Yes.
Denmark-Finland, that's the other one we see today. Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and United Kingdom and Greece and Cyprus, they're playing on a different stream,
you see it
as
right
you
there.
can see.
GLL2.
Yep, that's it. So you can watch that if you think that's the better action. Obviously, definitely not. So stay here, stay with us. And then after all of this, obviously, since that's the last day of this week, we head over to the round of 4, where the 4 generals of those teams will actually fly here to Stockholm and play live from the GLL studios.
Yeah.
So that will be another big step and probably changing things up a bit. But before we go there, 4 teams have to be eliminated and 4 teams go through. And we actually see 2 matches here.
Now, off of this first game, Turkey clearly doing something nobody else is able to execute as well. Because you could tell that the Adriatic team wanted to do something about that, but they just couldn't get the troops around fast. They're like, come on, guys, come on, we're kind of in a war here.
Maybe like baggers.
But what, to you at least, what does Adriatic team really do to sort of counter or go against the Turkish team that, at least off of what we just saw right there, apparently don't even need circles to win games?
I think, looking at the previous matches we saw from the Turkish army so far, it seems like they were always forced into those smart decisions, and then they came out on top because someone else wasn't willing to commit. The Adriatic nation, next time they think they might be in the better position, commit to it, go at it immediately, try to take them down before Turkey can set up, like get a picture of the whole thing, and then create those amazing strategies and fast rotation that's won them all the previous matches.
So what you're saying is if we get to that game where Turkey gets all the circles, then we're like, what do we do now? We have not tried this before. We have the circles? Wait, does that mean we can't go out and attack people? Or
of course you can. Okay. Go for it.
I'm just thinking, what is their thought process? Because they're not used to getting circles ever.
The Turkish team, I mean, like I said, they're forced to create these strategies. So there's still a big question mark what really happens if they're in the middle of it.
True.
And they need to set up. And someone else is rotating. But then once again, so far from the Adriatic nation, also in previous matches, we saw that they're kind of slow to decide that. So when they come in and they actually realize that Turkey sits in the middle, are they really quick enough to set up a proper primary attack line to really create that crossfire? Because if not, and Turkey realize that at the moment, it's the same. It's just spreading out, create the half circle, go in there, take them out.
One thing that's very impressive to me as well, something you don't really notice if you don't really pay attention to it, is how when you see, in the grand scheme of things, 32 versus 32, it's going to come down to that last sort of running into each other and fight. But what gave them such a big advantage really early on, and what really set up the entire fight for Turkey, was Geek's push in. Like, he pretty much split them on 2 sides from the very start. It allowed for the other part to go around. I mean, him, not alone, again, he had his teammates with him, but it was him who initiated the first 2 knocks that forced the teams to say, wait, there's people right here. Then they start reacting, and the Turkish team just swamped them in that point.
Obviously, it's about splitting the opposing forces,
Yeah, exactly.
Right? He knew that there was a chance. We see it on the map. Obviously, they don't see that, but there was this small chance of, hey, if you create chaos here and make sure that everyone moves away from you, since they're afraid of you, you will create that huge gap between 2 friendly forces on the other side, so they can't team up against you, and they might not even be able to really push you, because they had the wrong side of prison, let's be honest here. They played uphill.
Exactly.
And still they managed that Adriatic nations were not fast enough to set up any crossfire. We saw that so many people were standing in the back in a position where they could not fire at all. So it's not even worth having them at that moment, let's be honest.
Now, one thing we did see last game was what could have been a full-on fight in Pochinki that ended up being the Adriatic team trying to run it off and losing 2 players in doing so. Seems to me like this time around they ain't opting to make their way all the way into the main city here on Erangel, but they do have a few players down on the eastern side of Ferry Pier that could potentially run into trouble. But seems like Koski is going to be like, nope, these are parachutes of teams I don't really recognize. I will go down to my friends.
I'm just waiting for the parachutes to actually feature flags logos. Will be good, like of the countries.
That could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it could be a complete flag, right?
Yeah.
Such a parachute.
And you can only do it here, too, because if it was in squads, I think you would get too much info. Being able to, like, if you're in the sky, you can see where every team is. Like, you know exactly what team is where. Here, I mean, if it's not your friends, then it can only be one other team, right?
Yeah,
so here it doesn't really matter. And once again,
full circle.
Similar area to begin with, but I mean, a little further south. And what is with this one is that, well, I mean, it could go military. There's a chance.
If it really goes military,
and no one's there.
Third time this week.
No one's there.
Yeah, it's like, you said that. Tips with Toby. Tips with Toby actually said, put at least 4 people on that island. So far, no one really bought into that idea, Toby.
It's just, it's a safety precaution. And you don't really lose anything from doing it.
Besides 4 people.
Well, you don't necessarily lose them. You just maybe have them a little away from your team early game, right? Because they could be the circle going far north, and then you're kind of, okay, well, this is going to take us a little while longer, but then you just rotate that much safer. I mean, you will be able to get your teammates in the end, right?
Interesting is that both teams decided for the same landing spots.
Yeah.
But the Adriatic nations this time didn't dare to touch Pochinki, where they lost 2 men early on.
Exactly. They opted to go down south instead, and it kind of made sense. They have plenty of room down there to hold any potential rotations coming. You see Polderek, Smashmouth, Lipson in here, alongside Giga, the guy who was a big part of setting up that initial push in the previous games. Polderek, Lipson, and Smash Babe, all playing highly competitive PUBG from We Need a Home. And, well, I mean, if you do have a home for them, then I'm sure that they would love for you to reach out to them. So
it's true. They managed to get more than at least 10 kills between their squad there on the last one. So I can see them being the dominant squad.
They got things going, that's for sure. They were a good contributor to the victory that they had. Burn, we saw him yesterday get burned by the red zone. Hopefully that won't be the case today. Rista as well in school here, trying to see if they can get some loot going their way, and seems like that should be a possibility.
All of school belongs to them. It's not bad in terms of loot.
Not at all.
Maybe for the region, that school should be renovated soon. Doesn't really look like a place to learn and educate, right?
No, I don't think any people attend that school anymore.
You think so?
Yeah.
What with all these people living here?
I mean, they're clearly not home.
Yeah, but where are they?
Oh, it's like big holiday season. So the entire island is just emptied.
Ah, they all leave then?
Yeah. It happens every day.
And there's only that one plane that brings people in and out.
Exactly, and they clearly don't have a runway that's working anymore because it didn't land the plane, so it just kind of flew over.
Yeah,
it only drops people off.
What happens with the team that actually wins?
Oh, they get to live there for the remainder of their life.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So how many different islands do we have now?
I mean,
many.
Yeah.
Well, we saw some educational paperwork hanging on the walls there. Seems to we're visiting the doctors as well.
What I like to see is Breezy. I mean, captain, and he's not just relying on his team to go out and scout for him. He's doing that himself too. Here we have the not that oftenly used theater scene in the.
I think we're doing lost places photography right now.
Yeah.
Here with our GLL observer.
I like that we're doing it because I actually went to Chernobyl 2 weeks ago and saw all these places. They're picture perfect, taken out from places in Chernobyl.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll show you my
I'll
show you my PowerPoint presentation someday.
PowerPoint presentation. We do that right after this match, okay? So here's the third one. If Turkey wins 2-0,
PowerPoint
you could easily do that here on the Weatherman station or maybe on our background TV.
Unfortunately, I don't have it here, so yeah. That's so I really I wish.
Because I really love PowerPoint.
Yeah. I made a video, yo. You can go and see it on YouTube. It's short, only 3 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
But there's like a 30-minute discussion at least at the end?
No, it's just 3 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You need to work on that. All right, red zone in Milta, but didn't hit anyone, so everyone got safe. That's good. That's important because we can see that that happened in the past. You don't really want that. Matt here this time, not AFK.
He's just driving into the red zone.
Instead, he is... Yeah, why not?
It's like, you know how we have with tornadoes? If you're so close to it anyway, you have to drive into the eye of the storm, because that's where it's calm, you know?
Yeah, but you don't really want to try that.
Where's the eye in the red zone? How does that work? The eye of the tornado.
You know, it's a bit like, what was the name of the movie where they chased the tornado to get those sensors in? It's an older...
Oh yeah,
older movie.
yeah, I remember. I don't know the name.
I just watched it like a few weeks ago. I actually saw it popping up and I was like, all right.
Well, then it's super embarrassing that you don't know the name.
I was wondering, it's not... Is it Twister?
Could be.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe I would know. They did park their US right there.
Yeah, they parked it right in that explosion.
Yeah. I was gonna say, should they have parked it a meter further ahead? Matt, you opened the door like, are you actually? Yeah,
really? He was just looking like that sounded like our car.
I heard that explosion sounded a bit different. I heard a cry of hope from a vehicle outside. Was that how? Now it's like, why did you park there?
It's like, I told you that's not a good idea, but you wanted to go here.
Medino.
Oh man, that was amazing.
That is a.
They died.
That is unfortunate.
That car died.
Yeah, it did. Unfortunately, they didn't. I mean,
yeah, they did.
That's the good thing,
That's the
right?
good part.
Yeah.
Still though.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate.
Yep, but they are still alive, still kicking. They're pretty close, and Garbage Man is actually the first one that gets picked off by Sensen. We saw Sensen doing some great work yesterday.
She has a quad kill on a vehicle yesterday, full on spray down. Yep, very impressive.
But did not really work so far today. But Garbage Man might be the first to fall.
He's probably dead. But they're kind of because he's clearly very committed to getting the finish off here. It is kills after all, but there's also red zone on their head, and well, I mean, as I know,
Marco with the curveball onto Pika Peaks, and that hit. Oh wow, that was actually a strike.
Hole in one.
That was right in.
Yeah.
It's like Pika Peaks probably, if you had the mouth open to scream for help, the grenade was probably in there.
You would have said Pika, Pika, Pika.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was my best Pikachu impersonation.
That's why you're not working for Nintendo or any Pokemon.
I'm not a convincing Pikachu. That's I've heard that before.
It's part of the interview process.
Oh. What Pokemon are you going to be sounding like today? Oh yeah, sorry you're not going through to the next round.
It's like so you're a big fan. Yeah. Then sing the song from the very first Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh, everyone can do that. In their own language.
In their own language.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Yep. Okay, we get our first skirmish. That's actually pretty early. 8:20 here. Seems like the Turkish wanted to go on to Crowman's group here.
Do you think he's on and ready, or is it honor? O-N-R. Honor.
Honor to fight with him.
And Giga, we talked about him a lot just before coming into that game, and now he's once again one of the guys up front. This is the Pachinki team that went down south to take themselves a better position. We did see Garbage Man go down, so Sanson secured herself that kill, but will more come off of it? Right now it's a hill against hill, kind of long-range tapping and seeing who has adjusted their scopes better. But once again, Turkey, they're trying to set up this positioning with an advantage over their opponents. Now, New Circle did pop, and since I don't see any white lines on the map, meaning that either these guys are far out or far inside.
I'm pretty sure they're far inside. Is it?
They are.
Yep.
No military. No military.
Yeah, definitely not. But we might
pretty
end
much everyone is inside the circle, though.
Oh, look. Now the whole Adriatic nations, they moving towards Geeker and his squad. That might be interesting. Mithrain gets hit by XF.
Running over your captain. That's a...
That does not get you a promotion nor a job next time.
If they make it to the finals, somehow we don't see him there. That's like, oops. Oops. That's a...
They can now run with the whole army into a small squad, but look at the rest of the setup south of Pachinki. Great crossfire. If they weren't spotted yet, this could be an amazing shootout.
This is what I still want to see. Everybody in their vehicles, send it straight forward towards your opponents. Because, I mean, there's no way they'll explode all the vehicles, right? And you just start running them all over. They're in the open right now. Sure, it's uphill, and it probably wouldn't work. But it could still be extremely hilarious to watch.
I think they tried it to help out Crowman.
Yeah.
But if they do so, they will get into fire range of the second unit.
I mean,
in the west.
The thing is, Turkey has a good position. They do not need to extend any further from here. They're just containing them. They have full control in the north, full control in the south, and they're sitting themselves on around 60% of the circle, I would say. They have Kalendorf far up north. He could potentially hold the seemingly flank that's coming in now if he stops up there. And like the rotation, Snip, Seiko, and Mamik. And Ivers, they're going far north, all competitive players, so they're probably sitting in their little own squadron saying, and figuring out exactly how they want to rotate.
Sparky and Croman basically finding themselves in between front lines and
wow.
Red Zone. Yep. Red was like, that
Somebody
seems to be a
party,
party place. Let's
please
move in
stay.
there.
Please stay, guys. Stay.
Adriatic Nation is like,
nope,
guys,
nope,
we just go
look
back.
at how many people are there. They would lose. I mean, even if they got lucky, at least 6 or 7 people would not even get knocked, but get killed from that, because there's so many vehicles there too. That just pretty much, I mean, that screwed over the entire idea. For the Adriatic team, they wanted to go up, they wanted to get vision, but now they have to wait with their scouting for at least another 35 seconds.
This moving out looked like the scene from Jurassic Park when all the dinosaurs freak out and run. Yeah, with like, you know, the three running down the hill and all the dinosaurs running as well. That was basically what we just saw here.
Yeah, running from the red zone. And I mean, at least the Turkish team did something similar, but it did allow, as you can see, the bunch up here, they moved on out, but it did allow for the now flanking Adriatic squad to kind of make their way on closer. The question is going to be whether they'll hear their vehicles. Oh, he's committed to it. The closer to the tree, the safer you are, Volley. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, it's not a thunderstorm.
Yeah. I don't think artillery reacts the same way.
Smash Bay is really going
Guys, I found the crate! I found the crate!
Wow, balls! Smash Bay, favorite player of today.
So no kills on the initial red zone. Fortunately,
nothing can stop him, not even red zone.
Yeah, next one would go out as well. But we're reaching a point now at which, with the next circle, if we get a red zone there, you kind of limited in how you can avoid it. I mean, it's gonna take up at least 50% of that next circle, right?
Once again, setup looks good for Turkey right now in terms of fighting the East.
Yeah.
And now Adriatic Nation would need to commit to that idea of sending that northern squad in.
They need to figure out when they want to use it, because they need
as fast as possible.
I would say they need to take as much focus as they can, because they're doing it right now. Look at how much focus they're taking. This is when they sent them in. They've just, I mean, everybody on the Turkish team is full on focusing on what's going on right here, right? If they can pin them down now with the players from behind, that could be so smart, because right now they're just losing players for no reason.
Yeah, Godonbar finds scope marker, got exposed first though. Godonbar also falls down, no kills so far, but a lot of knocks seems like, oh, they're not trying to get engaged, they're trying to get to their friends.
It's as if the communication didn't really come across about where they should go.
They should probably listen to our comms instead of theirs. Kraleone falls, Swedish get knocked as well. It seems like it's pretty even, 28-29 so far, plus the knocks, Meyer gets killed. Oh yeah, Adriatic Nation is now dropping to 26. Tap it like it's hot. That's what's happening.
A lot of them got across, but they're under a ton of fire. They do have the backup though. Ivers and Bunch up there and Snipseeko has made their way on around. So look at the pinning they have on the team from Turkey up the hill now, because the remaining Turkish players are still far down south.
I'm wondering, this doesn't look good for the Adriatic Nations. I thought they can use that northern squad, but instead they were afraid once again, trying to pull these closer rather than playing it.
It seems like it.
Oh, now that hill is all in Turkish hands. And everyone down there, Lukarex actually, he managed to move around, which is good. So he has a good shooting position, but as soon as he shoots, everyone will just turn around.
Also, I gotta say, I like the initial idea from God Owned, because they died, sure, down there, but had all of them gone down and start pushing up that hill, because with them going all the way around underneath and going up on the other side, that just says for the entire flanking team, well, they're there too, okay, no surprises at all. Had they got full focus towards the east and then come in from behind, could have been a completely different game. But once again, Giga getting knocks.
Yeah, solid gameplay today, that's for sure. Really consistent across these two matches so far. MFS, yeah, might find himself in a crosshair, but no connecting shots for Chile so far. Lukarex finds Lips in. Finally, they're actually fighting back the Adriatic Nations, but they're down to 17, so it's close to that miracle mark of 10 advantage or disadvantage, which really starts hurting you.
Have we seen a comeback from that?
From 10?
We have seen. Oh yeah, we might have seen just exactly. Somewhere
In
around
previous, I'm sorry for saying it, but I'm really catching a cold.
there. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's.
I wasn't hitting the cuff button early enough. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw that in previous weeks, but it's a tough thing. Like coming back from a 10 advance basically means you lose an entire flanking force, like a really strong one.
Yes.
Giga with the quick fingers here,
He's
getting
pushing
chilly.
forward, yeah.
Yep.
No fears.
I like that he's never staying anywhere. He's always going somewhere.
And the whole idea of the Adriatic nation having a fight, they could fight from two fronts, pushing them in the middle, just got completely denied.
Yeah.
Mithrain is sitting in his command tower. I like to see it, or command shack. That's where he's sitting, giving all the info.
Probably
he has
big
the map
light
open,
on top.
Has the map open. He's tapping all the pings, like here, go there, go there, go there, go there, go there, go there. It's like playing the full-on commander role from his little HQ. And well, I mean,
if they get into the semis, I'm pretty sure that they build him a bigger HQ for next time.
Oh, could be. Maybe he gets a house.
Yeah. Or even a school.
Oh.
Or a whole apartment.
Now we're
47. Kalimdor actually.
That's a red zone again, and it's taking up 90% of the circle. Okay, right. Honestly, if
where do they go now?
If you're the Adriatic team right now, you just run back. Go outside the red zone and let them blow up. You are gonna get potentially and hopefully a couple of kills off of this. So fall back, guys. Fall back. This was the bait you wanted to begin with. Bait them over here. You knew the red zone was gonna come, and just wait for it. Look at this. They're all trying to hide inside now. And we already see what happened earlier. That vehicle has been blown up once before.
That's basically après-ski now.
Wow.
You know, like small houses, a party, some beers. Guys, don't celebrate too early. But yeah, there's nowhere where they can
don't push.
Where they can
I
move.
mean, why is the Adriatic team not running out and away?
I think they thought that Turkey will fight.
Is there any way that this sort of mortar fire can angle itself and kill any of these guys? Maybe if it lands right on the doorstep, it could get the kill on the guys that were like sort of right in the area. If no one dies from this, I guess, I mean, they were really quick in reacting. They got themselves into cover. Only the Adriatic team is like, we have seen this before. We are hardened. We will not be left to run like scaredy pants just because a few mortar shells comes raining down towards us. But once again, timeout over. The halftime has ended, and we're back to fighting.
Well, it's true. And they start immediately with that. Now we got that 10-man disadvantage for the Adriatic nations I was talking about earlier. And Doc's RS tries to add another one to that, but Putkus falls on the other side, though.
You know what I would actually have liked to see there? Because they clearly realized, well, the shooting just stopped for a long time, so that's because they didn't, like, they went to somewhere safe. Because if the Adriatic team wants to be outside anyway, just run up towards them and throw nades inside, because we're all sitting and hiding inside those shacks, right? Just sneak up, throw a nade under the cover of the, so I guess audible cover of the shells landing around you, and see if you can get yourself a kill off of it. But it didn't happen, so unfortunately.
Yeah, but it might be.
Idea for the future. Idea for the future.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
Always open for new times. That
Holy
was a quick
headshot.
look. Yeah, right in his face. Try to catch that shot, and he did.
Get
with a forehand, probably.
Yeah, impressive. Down 10 players. It's not looking good. They need one hell of a western circle.
knocked.
Yeah, exactly. They need a very western circle. But we've already seen what Turkey can do once they start running forward. Once they start charging, it's very hard to stop them. It seems like that's the push that's coming up now. Bada bing. Oh, it's a smoke. Never mind.
Yeah, I was asking myself that. It's like, wait, wasn't that a real grenade?
Did he just shoot that flare gun into the tree? I think he hit the tree. Oh, maybe they're not really trying to actually get anything off of it. But Ivers on the fire. Logarux has a solid 15-man wall to deal with in just a matter of seconds. It's not going to be easy. They are doing everything they can, though. Nades are being thrown galore, and a lot of damage has actually been done. Triple knock coming in there from Logarux.
That was a lucky grenade there. Ivers is still just knocked, and Logarux is still alive. Kalimdor, he rotated all around, but he's not turning around.
I mean, they
Check
might
your
be
back,
down,
man.
They might be down 7 players or 10 players, but I think they got like 6 or 7 knocks off of them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was so far back on the backside of the hill that they couldn't really get any finishes off.
And they didn't have any grenades probably because there were so many grenades popping before. There were no grenades to finish that off.
But look at the damage
Shaxi
coming in
might
return
find
now.
himself in a tough situation. I think he's basically trying to take the entire Adriatic Nations team on his own, moving around. That smoke finds still there, right in front of him, back into the smoke, but he still gets knocked though. Ballsy move, but it wasn't enough. At least one kill.
Not a whole whole lot more he could do there. He ran straight through it and ran into a full team of opponents. And look at the lineup for Kalimdor. Gets himself a double BSD, charms in and gets himself one of them too. Sanson, though, not giving up just yet. Doing everything she can to hold the dreams alive. Should Adriatic team lose this one, they're going to be down and out. And Turkey will be the first team that we can announce in the semifinals. Make that?
Semifinals,
yes,
yep.
Semifinals. So,
Yuri and Kakazi still down there at the compound, but now they got a huge attack force from Turkey. Sensen still tries to reign supreme there up the hill, but it seems like his reign might be over soon here.
3v19.
2 kills, but his whole squad is out. That's it. He's been taken out. Down to 3. That's the 3 here. Yuri and Kakazi, they wait for the postman. They will come in with cars, with bikes, with grenades. Smashbay just paying a visit right in that compound, finishing off Yuri. Kakazi moves in, tries to at least get some kills, but he's the last one. That's it. Team Adriatic Nations. It's not just eliminated on map 2. They're eliminated from the Nations Royale by Turkey.
They had everything going their way. They had the red zone. Unfortunately, the game didn't want them to win the one.
You think it's that?
No. Turkey played it extremely well.
Yes.
Again. They did really, really well.
So far, from all the maps we saw across the last days, with the teams we saw, I think it's the most consistent.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they get so much backup. It's not because
they're
they're fans for being who they are. They're fans for being impressive.
Yeah, they're adaptive. It doesn't really matter where the circle is standing. They will always play well.
Yeah.
They will always find a smart way, even if they're in a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And they really, really deserve the first semi-final slot here. And with that, sending their general over here to Stockholm in Sweden.
Now, there were some questionable decisions made. The idea of Adriatic Nations sending a bunch up north was perfect, but this right here, it just blew their cover. The fact that they go to this position just, becomes a, well, I guess we just all went from east to west. Why not try and do it on 2 fronts? I know it's a tricky position, and it's not really that easy to find from the open, but commit to one of them. Just don't screw over the entire flank.
I was hoping for the northern flank to really get involved as a flank unit, rather than trying to play only a distraction with cars. Because if they would have really taken a fight, they would have distracted them enough. And then in the end, it was just cleaning up. We saw here Kalimdor, he had to clean off Smash Bay. He just went right into it because obviously there were only 2 left.
Yeah.
And then it was Kakazi staying alive the longest. But it wasn't enough for the Adriatic Nations. We have to say goodbye to them because they're out of Nations Royale.
Yes, they put in a valid fight. They got all the way to the quarterfinals, but in the end, Turkey was too much for them to beat. And next up at 9, I think it is. Yep, 9 o'clock.
Yep.
It's going to be Denmark against Finland. But it's going to be a close one.
We promised you exciting matchups, and I think our first 2 maps definitely proved that.
Yeah.
And there will be more, as Toby said already. We will see Finland versus Denmark. All that at 9 p.m. CET. So just get ready for that. We'll see you there.